Welcome back to another episode of the OKC Foodcast, your guide into food in Oklahoma.
Okay, that sounded a little bit better.
Okay, I'm getting better at this. But I'm always trying to say something different, so it's not the same thing.
Okay.
Although maybe I should just have a same, I don't know, whatever. Well, you're joined with Nabil.
And Ashley.
And we have a special guest in the studio with us.
Yes.
Joei, Tyra.
Hi, guys.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And Joei is, I guess you can follow her on Instagram, The Joy of Cooking. It's Joei.
Yes.
But yeah, welcome. We're
Thank
excited
you.
to have you here.
Thanks so much. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so we'll get into what makes Joei tick in a little
What
bit.
makes her tick?
I don't know. Trying something there? I don't know. All right. So.
Sugar. Caffeine.
All right, there you go.
We're going to see what,
Me too.
we're going to see what Joey's cooking up.
Oh, okay.
So
I see what you did there.
That's better.
All right. Did you practice that?
No.
Okay. All right. I'll give that to you then.
So want to dive into our Eat of the Week?
Let's do it.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
So I actually finally got to try 7 Asian Bistro.
Oh, how was
Finally.
that? I still haven't.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, no surprise because like
Right,
everyone that
of
we've talked to
course.
was like, this place is
You gotta
fantastic.
go.
This is great. So I actually got a chance to go on a cultural and food tour of the Asian district.
What? Oh, what was that event?
The cultural
that's
and
the name
food
of the
tour.
Oh, okay.
I might be mixing and mingling there, but that was the premise of the event.
Okay.
And it was put on by the Asian District Association.
Right.
And it was fantastic. I mean, we started off at Lee's and they talk about the inner workings of that. We got to make spring rolls or summer spring
told
rolls.
me
It
about
was so
this.
much-
I
I did
totally-
tell you about this.
Was I out of town?
Neither of you
Yeah,
told me
you said
about
you
this.
weren't able to go.
Oh, shoot.
So we got hands-on cooking and then we got to eat it, or hands-on rolling. We didn't cook anything.
Right.
My roll looked pretty good. They said it. Okay, it's not I. They said it looked pretty good.
Good.
And what kind of roll was this? Like,
It was a summer spring roll.
oh, so it's like the chilled roll
Yeah.
with like shrimp. I
Yes.
love those.
With like the rice wrapper. Yeah. it
Yeah,
was
I make those.
nice.
Remember?
Yeah, you did make that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mine looked pretty good too.
Nice.
Probably maybe not as good as yours.
Well,
I don't know.
it does take practice. Those that rice paper is so sticky
Yes.
And thin.
and
Yeah,
thin.
and that was
yeah.
my first time rolling it, and so the fact that I got like a good roll that didn't
Yeah.
crumble as soon as I bit into it, I think that was good.
Can
Yeah.
I give you my secret for that?
Yeah.
Dip your fingers in a little bowl of water next to you as you go. So
Uh-huh.
each time you're wrapping, you dip your fingers in the water and keep going.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh yeah, okay,
That would make
nice.
sense. Make it less sticky on your fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I did those, and I did like veggie spring rolls, but I did add shrimp one time. But the first time my rolls did not look,
Like a roll.
they weren't cohesive. There were some squares, there were some really fat ones, some busting at the seams. But the second time, I feel like I
Got the hang of it.
got the hang of it a lot better.
I would have just taken a fork to it.
Right. Well, my favorite part about making those spring rolls is the dipping sauce. Did y'all have a good dipping sauce?
Yes, they had a fish sauce for
Okay.
dipping, and they also had a peanut sauce.
Right.
So
Peanut sauce is necessary.
yeah.
The sauce I do is a carrot ginger.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's so
Sounds
good.
very refreshing.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
carrot, ginger, shallot, garlic, and then vinegar. And you kind of puree it.
Oh.
It's
Nice.
really good dipping
You're
sauce.
going to call me next time you make
Yeah,
this.
absolutely.
Yeah, I've been telling her, so where's mine?
Yeah, constantly running joke.
Yeah. Nice. That sounds really good. So we did that. And then since it was also a cultural tour, we kind of got a little bit of the history as to why Classen and that area became
The Asian district? Okay.
Yeah. So that was very informative. And then we ended the tour at 7 Asian Bistro.
Okay.
And so I got to had the pho there. And
Nice.
it was fantastic.
Phenomenal.
I was, I stopped myself from making that, but okay, it was phenomenal,
There's no shame.
fabulous.
Fabulous.
Okay, it might take it a little too bright.
See, that's why I have to stop myself. It's a slippery slope.
My mom is going to love this episode. She's a total pun lady.
Oh, I am too.
Food puns all the way.
I love it. Any opportunity.
Yeah. So it was really good. Had it with some lean and fatty brisket, and they give you like the little Thai basil and the jalapenos on the side, and you put that in, put some hoisin sauce, some sriracha, mix it up. It was fantastic.
Nice.
Sounds delicious.
It does sound really good.
Like I cleaned the bowl.
Right.
No shame.
Well,
No, none at all. I would have had another one.
yeah.
But
Well, funny that your eat of the week was a bowl of noodle soup, because so is mine. I went to Mizu. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a ramen place.
oh
off
yeah,
North
where,
Penn.
where
and
there's ramen,
122nd.
there's Ashley.
Right.
That's kind of how this works.
I love ramen. I also love pho, though. But I had not checked out this spot before, and I was kind of in that area craving some ramen, as I do often. And it was legit. It was very, very good. I had their pork broth, pork belly ramen, and it had like this black garlic oil in it. And then you can order like more, like they have a list of things you can add into it.
Yeah.
And then they had like this $1, I can't remember what they called it. It was a spice bomb. I think that's what they called it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like
a chili bomb or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was really good.
Was
To
it?
put in to dip in?
Yeah, it comes like, it was like a ball, and
you
you
just put it in the
use your
ramen.
chopsticks
Yeah.
to use as much of that as you want into your ramen.
See, that's nice. There was a place that I had gotten that spice bomb for ramen.
Did they put it in?
And no,
for you?
so it came where you had to kind of put it in because it wasn't like pasty,
This was pasty.
but it was very oily, and so that completely killed the ramen for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't want the oily spice.
So that's cool.
Yeah, it was very
it's
good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. So I'll be going back there for ramen again.
Yeah.
Faux show.
For sure. Nice.
So Joey, what is your eat of the week?
It is not ramen.
Okay.
Okay, I wish it was.
Is it a
That
noodle
sounds-
soup?
No.
Oh.
All of that sounds delicious, but so I am gluten-free and egg-free. So this makes breakfast and brunch almost not a thing that
Right.
happens for me.
Right.
And I was told, a little birdie told me about neighborhood jam.
Oh yeah.
And so I made a reservation. You guys have got to do this. You make a Yelp reservation online 2 to 3 hours before you actually
And then you
want
go back to sleep.
Yes. Yes.
That's nice.
And so I made a reservation at 9:30, and the soonest I was able to get in was 1:30.
It's insane. Those lines are insane.
But I walked right in at my reservation time and sat down.
Nice.
And I asked them for the gluten-free menu and if they even had one. And she got a really great smile across her face. She goes, "You're gonna like our
that's
gluten-free menu."
awesome.
And I got all excited and sat down, and I had a full stack of lemon poppy seed pancakes.
Oh, yum.
With a lemon cream sort of like a compote of lemon peel and cream and little bits of this lemon poppy seed sort of topping on it with a crumble of stuff over it.
Wow.
It was just pancakes, right, guys? But it was insane.
lemon poppy
For
seed
gluten-free pancakes, they were thick, fluffy,
Wow.
moist, delicious.
Sounds
Nice.
so good.
But I couldn't stop there because they also offered gluten-free bread.
Nice.
So I
You have to have that.
so I had to move on. So then I had their gluten-free breakfast cubano.
Okay.
Without the egg, I had avocado instead of egg.
Nice.
Again, guys, this was stupid. It was so good. I called the waitress over to almost cry at her and tell her how glad I was to have just a carb-filled meal somewhere
Yeah.
that tasted like it was meant
Normal
to.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can not throw a gluten-free item through a plate glass window, that's a sign of it being
Yeah.
good. So yeah, it was no noodle bowl, but you know what? I'll take it.
No, that sounds good. I do
Yeah.
love neighborhood jam.
Yeah.
They're my jam.
They're now my jam too.
Can't stop. Won't stop.
Can't stop.
I told you, slippery slope.
I'm not gluten free, but I did make a gluten free pizza once, and I found this like a package. It wasn't. I mean, I made the dough, but it came from a package.
Sure.
From Sprouts, and it's like this really beautiful package. There's like kind of like a watercolor.
I know that package. I
do?
use that pizza crust.
Okay, that crust is
Yes,
great.
it really is.
I feel like if you see that package, you know what it is because it's a beautiful watercolor outside.
Well, and for anybody out there listening, if you are at Sprouts and you're gluten-free, hands down, the best mix for you to get is the Pamela's Pancake and Baking Mix.
Oh, okay.
You can do anything with this, from biscuits to pancakes, waffles, bread. It doesn't matter. It'll lend itself to anything. So
Sweet.
Yeah, my plug for Pamela here.
There you go. Hey, Pam.
Find me on Instagram, the Joey of Cooking.
Oh, so yeah, that sounds great. I want to talk about the treats that were brought to us this evening.
I mean, so since I already had the Eat of the Week planned, I was like, I'm going to mention this as well.
Yeah.
This is the Eat of the Day, Eat of the Week, Trump.
Right.
Whatever you want to call it. This was the wild card that got thrown at us.
Well, I'm actually going to let Joey explain what she made us. This is more than just a treat. It was an entire dinner.
It was a meal,
it was delicious.
So
I believe in
thank you
feeding
very
people.
much.
No problem.
You can come back on the podcast whenever you want.
Whenever you want.
That was my goal. Feed people, make them happy, come back and visit. So I brought you what we call a Hawaiian plate lunch. And it sounds so elevated and elegant, right? And it's not, you guys. Really, so I'm a Hawaiian fusion chef. And so that means we've got a mix of everything from all of our Asian cultures to the West Coast, and then the things that we in Hawaii had use of for hundreds of years before we had the influences of everywhere else. Some of our main influences in Hawaii came from Portugal. A little side story here.
Right.
The history of Hawaiian food is that we, I say we, I'm a Haole girl, but I was born and raised there, and I was sort of raised up
if you were
on,
born there, then...
Yeah, but
Does that really
I'm not of
count?
Hawaiian descent, so I try to maintain the respect for that, right?
Okay.
But I was raised in the culture, and I was raised in the food, and so that meant foraging on land and in sea, and bringing all of that to the table. But that's the heart of Hawaiian food, but it comes from the Portuguese, who actually were inspired by Goan food. Goan cuisine taught Portuguese to cook, who then came to Hawaii and taught us to cook. So the culture has everything from that spicy influence to that seafood and tropical feel to. So luau's are a staple. Everyone knows, you go to Hawaii, you have to go to a luau.
Right.
And a luau is our version of just a big smorgasbord of everything that we've brought to the table over the years.
Yeah.
And so what I brought you guys is a really small version of a luau. And so a plate lunch for us, you have to have 2 scoops of rice. It is literally a crime if you do not serve 2 scoops of rice with your plate lunch. And so 2 scoops of rice, traditionally macaroni salad, little bit of greens with some pineapple, and then we do protein. So for us, it's either kalua pork, which is a pulled smoked pork that we do in something called the imu, which is in the ground. We dig a hole in the ground, add Hawaiian hot lava rocks, cover it with banana leaves, and steam it, and for a whole day in the ground.
I think that's so cool.
Well, I couldn't do that for you guys.
The star of the luau.
The star of the luau. Yeah. So for anyone wanting to do that at home, I use my Instant Pot without any shame. Put that pork roast in the Instant Pot for an hour.
Little hot lava rocks in there.
Actually, you can get away with using something called liquid smoke, and a little bit of what we call ala sea salt. You can order these things online, throw them in your Instant Pot for an hour, and an hour later you have what any Hawaiian would probably not even understand hadn't come out of the ground.
Right.
Kalua pork. It's that good.
That's impressive.
But so tonight, what I brought you is teriyaki chicken, which we do with a Hawaiian teriyaki sauce, which has pineapple juice in it. So it's kind of a little different teriyaki. And you got rice with that, and then I brought you guys a dessert that I was hoping you would try.
Yeah.
So what this is for anyone listening and not here, it looks like panna cotta. It acts like panna cotta, but it's vegan and it's made with coconut milk.
Ooh, that's a really good texture.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. So you've got coconut milk, agar agar.
That is really good.
Sugar, and water, and it just boils down and makes almost like a Jello.
Yeah.
But it's got that softer, creamier texture, so it's more like a vegan panna cotta.
Right. That is
And
so tasty.
we used to use, in Hawaii, we don't have very many dessert options. It's pineapples and coconuts, right? Traditionally. So they would take the coconut milk and the sugar and mix it with gelatin. They actually would, the gelatin that Hawaiians used was, again, vegan based. It was a seaweed base. So we would take a seaweed base and bring it down to like that gel liquid and add that in with the coconut milk and the sugar. And you would get this dessert. So this is a really
So
old
good.
traditional option.
Yeah, this is really good. I wasn't saying anything because I was scarfing down the dessert. This was, I mean, it's like not overly sweet. It's
perfect.
It's so good, and it's got that coconut coming through. It's really good.
I'm really glad.
I also wanted you to mention your purple potatoes.
Oh, and so the last thing on this plate lunch is what I call my signature vegetable. And I know you were going to ask me about this anyway. My favorite vegetable, hands down, is the Molokai purple sweet potato. Amazingly enough, you can get this at every Sprouts in the nation now for $1.99 a pound. So I
That's pretty impressive.
It's impressive, and so
Yeah.
I get to eat this all the time. What you're eating is not grown on Molokai. It's a California farm that does this now. But we're getting,
Rats.
yeah, I know. But it's so it's purple. It's a purple potato all the way through and through.
which already makes your dish pretty.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's got that texture like a russet potato, but it's got that sweet, awesome flavor of a sweet potato without doing that mushy thing that some of those
Right.
yams will do.
Yeah.
So this is how I get my plate to look a little bit green, a little bit yellow, a little bit purple.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I also feel like those aren't as sweet as a sweet potato.
Right.
It's true. It's a
Which is why I like
little
them a little more.
less.
Yeah, I like that a little more because sweet potatoes sometimes get too sweet for me.
They do.
And so
And
yeah.
so we can make these sweeter. I brought them to you today, steamed whole in my Instant Pot. I have 2 Instant Pots on my counters. I use them shamelessly. I've had some chefs tell me that they don't have use for something like that, and I don't agree at all.
How do you not have use for a pressure cooker?
I don't know. My pressure cooker saves my life. I homeschool 3 kids, so I need to be able to.
I feel like that cuts time a lot.
It does.
right?
Yeah. You can cook from frozen.
My sister uses hers all the time. I don't have one.
So
I'm gonna
I
get
don't.
you
I don't
one.
use
I'm gonna
one.
get you one.
I don't use one either. But
Do what?
I said I don't use one, but I probably would if I had one.
Well, we're gonna have to make this happen. I don't have any affiliation with this company, but if they're listening, we need to get these guys some Instant Pots. So I brought you these purple potatoes steamed. I just cut them in half and steam them in the Instant Pot for 20 minutes, and that is all the time it
Wow.
needs. And then the skin peels right off after they're cooked. And so I brought you steamed, but what we like to do is mash them up with coconut milk and a little bit of butter on top of it.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Because butter makes everything better, in
Better.
my opinion, right? Butter and chocolate.
Yes.
So I couldn't incorporate chocolate today, but mashed purple sweet potatoes is a showstopper for almost any dish. And if you take it one level further and you add more coconut milk or any kind of liquid, you get that down to a puree, and you can put a puree across your plate with
Yeah.
that.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
it's
Right,
beautiful.
That's it. It pops any dish you're
Yeah.
doing. So
Yeah.
that's my
that's
my
the
favorite
secret
veg.
sauce right there.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
So like when I was in Hawaii, there was always purple on the plate, but it was poi.
Okay, so I didn't bring you poi. I could have.
I don't know what poi is.
Poi is the paste that's made by pounding down a root called taro, which is in the cassava family.
Okay.
And it's got a bit of a purple color on the inside, so you get that kind of a light mauve purplish so what they would do is use something called a poi pounder, but here on the mainland, you guys might think of it as like a mortar and pestle.
Okay.
A big mortar and pestle with a big rock, and you just pound that taro root into a paste, add a little bit of water, let it ferment for about 1 day, and you've got this weird sour type of puree liquid.
That's the best way to describe it. But it's not really a puree because it's kind of like gelatinous.
It's kind of gelatinous because
Yeah.
it's sat. So we have something called haole poi. I will tell you what haole poi is. Haole poi, the word haole, a lot of people take it as a negative derogatory terminology, but we've moved past that. Like I accept my skin tone and my heritage.
Right.
And I accept that I like things with milk and sugar.
Yeah.
And haole poi is you take the poi, you add a few tablespoons of milk, a couple teaspoons of sugar, just mix it up. That's baby's first food where we come from, and
It makes it a little more palatable.
Palatable, yeah. I gave both of my first 2 children, both poi was their first food.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
That and avocado, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, avocado.
We have avocados the size of a newborn's head there.
Oh, wow.
So I had the original.
Yeah, I didn't bring you any because what my mom sent me, I said, I'm going on a podcast. I'm bringing them Hawaiian food. She goes, well, I'm going to send you poi powder and you just add water. So today in making your dinner, I thought, this goes against all of my cooking rules, but okay. And I added a little water and I tasted it and went, no,
Can't do it. Can't do it.
no, leave it off the plate. If it doesn't work, leave it off the plate.
That's funny.
But I'm glad you guys liked it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Usually when we are recording, we're both starving.
Yeah. Because it's like towards the end of the night. and we're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. This
did you
was
bring any
amazing.
snacks? No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Well, I did my homework. I heard you guys got an amazing coffee dish last week.
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh.
From
And
Miguel with Rome
Miguel.
Coffee.
So I heard that. I thought, I got to go find me one of those. And then I also heard you guys had the Big Buns Bakery.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And I thought, well, I can't show up empty-handed.
Have you tried Big Buns yet?
I have. So I actually went way out of my way. I live in Norman, and I found myself on a Saturday morning, y'all.
That's prize time right
Well,
there.
I go to farmers markets every Saturday. I'm a big locally owned, locally
same.
sourced. I believe in growing your own if you can, and then shopping locally next.
Yeah.
So after the farmers market, I found myself driving all the way up with my whole family in the car. My husband, I made him get in the car, poor guy. I was like, we got to go find these vegan buns. I heard about them. We're going to go find them. So we went, so we went up to Midwest City to Open Flame and got amazing cold brew coffee that they had there that day and their vegan buns. My 16-year-old is a vegan activist, and I brought 2 of them home for her, and she was like, who are these people? Where do I find these people?
Nice.
Why don't I live with those people?
Why aren't these people my parents?
Yeah. I'm like, hey, I make things.
I'm cool too.
Cool too. So, so I couldn't show up empty-handed. I knew you guys were going to get treats. And I thought, well, I got it.
We love the treats.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Always.
What was the flavor? Was it cinnamon? Was it a cinnamon roll
The vegan
flavor?
buns were just cinnamon, yeah.
Okay.
I know that they've got some others, like the lemon blueberry that I really want to
Yeah.
try, but they haven't incorporated that into their vegan recipe.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He was saying they were going to try to expand that.
Right,
yeah.
right. No,
But that's awesome. Yeah.
Jinx.
It could have been any flavor. It could have been
It would have still
Chipotle.
been
I
good.
wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. They've got their process down pat.
If they make their Duke City vegan,
You
I'll
gotta
be
try
there.
that.
oh
Okay.
my gosh, that's like my favorite because it's a savory bun. Oh, it's so good.
Well, I'm holding out for. I know that they're gonna probably not be able to do this. I'm holding out for their gluten free, but it's a laminated dough, and don't worry, guys. I know that that's really hard. So I may not ever get a chance, but my family is in love with them. So I think we're gonna end up at this coffee store every Saturday.
There you go.
Move to Midwest City.
Yeah.
Well, kids, we're packing up.
Yeah.
Where are we going? Closer to the buns.
Like, wait, I thought we were moving back to Hawaii. What are you doing? It's all about the vegan buns now.
That's funny.
So, Joey, how did your passion for food begin?
Oh, it's a long time ago. Well, I was born in Maui, and my first about 10 years were spent actually living in Vermont and New Hampshire. So
Okay.
we spent our summers up in Maine fishing and lobster fishing.
Oh,
And yeah,
love me some lobster.
I know. I have a serious love affair with lobsters.
Yeah.
And so when I was 10, we moved back to Maui, and I had already been trout fishing and lobster fishing and ocean fishing, and I had to continue that. So I found pretty early on, I found out that you could forage for, I guess, what do you guys call them? Fiddlehead ferns. We call them pahole ferns. And you could forage for all these greens and different things on the mountainside that you could use. And it became pretty easy to learn how to throw the net and do Hawaiian, what we call hukilau, which is fishing in the sea. So I would come home. I was homeschooled, and I had a lot of time on my hands, and I was a child of the 90s where we roamed free.
Yes.
And I would come home with a satchel. I lived in the jungle on the ocean.
Wow.
like really, very literally. So I would come home at the end of the day with, bags of stuff from the mountainside and either a fish if I'd caught one, or if not, I had a paint scraper that I would get what we call OPE, which are open-faced mussels, single-sided mussels.
Yeah.
And you use a paint scraper to scrape them off of the rocks.
Okay.
And then come home and turn them over and put a little, ponzu or hoisin or something in there and steam or eat them raw or grill them up and smoke them
I
and eat
bet
them.
that's so good.
Yeah,
Nice.
so I was feeding my family. I was an only child, and my mom was a public school teacher, so I was feeding us pretty early on.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that food, I didn't really ever have a plan to go into food professionally. I had children pretty early on and started homeschooling, and I went pretty much headlong into sales where one makes decent money.
Right.
And it just was something that I kept coming back to. I kept thinking, I want to feed some people.
Yeah.
More than just my family.
Yeah.
They don't appreciate it. So I started, they never do. They do nowadays. Now they're like, wow, Mom, that was fun. Cause I've gotten,
Wow, Mom, you can cook.
I guess.
It's all about perspective.
Yeah. And so I started about a decade ago doing small private events for 10 to 12 people, allergen-friendly events, gluten-free
Nice.
events, egg-free, dairy-free, whatever we would have parents of gluten-free kids that wanted birthday cakes. So I'm no cake decorator. Oh my Lord. It was, those days were atrocious, but I could make a pretty decent gluten-free cake. So I've been baking, I had a bakery in Hawaii called my Kaiola Bakery, which is Live Your Best Life.
Oh, I like
Nice.
that.
And it was all allergen friendly, and we would do sourdoughs and other things that could be allergen friendly. So I put it down again to have my third child and move back here and help my husband with his career. And about 2 or 3 years ago, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I want to make people happy, and food makes people happy.
Yeah.
And I want to bring Hawaiian and Pacific Rim cuisine to the Midwest. Roy, if you're out there listening, you've got to come. It's time.
It's time.
It's time. Morimoto, we'd love to have you. The Midwest, I feel, is really breaking out onto the food scene really quickly.
Yeah.
And the Asian influence and the Pacific influence is starting to make its way. But I constantly have people saying, Joey, can you make us a luau? Oh, okay. All right. So I've become the luau girl of Oklahoma City. If you need a
Nice.
luau, that's what I'm up
There you
to.
go.
I
That's
love
awesome.
that.
And it makes it's simplistic food, but it goes back to really the basics, and it really respects the ingredients. And I'm someone that, like I said, I fully believe in sourcing local or growing. So I grew about 500 pounds of those purple sweet potatoes over the last 2 seasons.
Oh, cool.
We were living
Wow.
we were living on a farm for the last 3 years out in Southwest Oklahoma, where I couldn't really feed people in the
Right.
middle of nowhere. So I was a chicken farmer. Yep.
Oh, wow.
And I raised show breed chickens and shipped them all over the country.
Wow.
And I grew about 85% of our own fruits and
Nice.
vegetables, and mostly vegetables. Oklahoma and fruits are hard.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing. And then I did all my own butchering: chickens, guineas, quail, deer,
Oh,
fish.
wow.
So that's where I woke up one morning and said, okay, we need to move back to the city, and we need to give me a time. It's my time. It's my
Yeah.
turn. So my husband works from home now. I have a teenager that is able to help, and it's I'm that mom breaking back out into the workforce, going, go big or go home.
Right.
Nice.
And I'm feeding people every chance I get.
Nice. That's
Wow.
awesome.
I like that. That's a good story.
Yeah.
Story time.
So when you decided this was my time to break out and get back into it, you got back into it hard.
I did. I
You went
jumped
all
really
out,
hard.
yes.
Yeah.
And so just recently,
So this year, I
Yeah.
was a semifinalist on season 10 of MasterChef on Fox.
That's amazing.
yeah.
It was,
She was just like, I'm back. Let's do
yeah,
this.
that was actually how I got back. I said, okay, I'm going to spend this time seeing if I still have what it takes. I'm hitting 37, the mom time. I'm
Yeah.
slowing down a tiny bit. I thought, well, I'm not sure. Let's see. So I auditioned, and a few months later, I got a call. And I went out to LA and met the most amazing group of people that I've ever met. It was like, I was telling Ashley, it was like summer camp for foodies.
I want to go.
Yeah.
Good dream.
Yeah, it was amazing. We had a wonderful crew, a wonderful hotel. We got to cook amazing food with each other and learn just about all of our different cultures and all of our different food styles. I gave a malasada lesson, which is a Hawaiian puffed donut full of cream or jelly. And someone else
delicious.
gave us, they're stupid. They're really good. And someone else from China gave us a dumpling lesson.
Nice.
And so we all walked around with recipe books and notebooks the whole time we were there. Just, okay, well, hold on, let me take notes.
That's awesome.
And I'm going to speak a hashtag on air. I'm sorry, but we have a hashtag out there, MC Family. And we stand by it, like MasterChef family. I came home and every past MasterChef contestant that I had ever loved, I reached out to, and they reached back.
Yeah.
And all of my current semifinalists and finalists from this season, we all still chat. We all still build each other up every single week. We're online building each other up. What are you doing in the world? How's your journey going?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so that was probably the most awesome thing that I've done for myself
What an
in a while.
experience.
Yeah.
What an experience.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm done with my stint with reality television, though.
Got a little taste of it.
I got a little taste
You
of
were
it.
done.
I was done. Yeah, I decided to come back into reality cooking rather than reality TV.
Right.
It's a little different.
It is, but there are a couple of shows that I would absolutely be honored at some point in my career to be invited onto, like The Final Table. If you guys haven't watched The Final Table,
I have not.
You've got to take a moment.
That's the one where they have the chefs pair up from around the
the
globe.
world. Yeah. So you had Mark Best, you had
Yes.
Monique Fiso, you had Charles Michel, you had people from around the world that I idolize.
That
Yeah.
was that. I think I watched the first season. I don't know if they have a season.
Yeah, they
2
don't.
yet.
There was
Okay.
one. I hope they come back.
That was-
Please come back.
That,
it was
that show
wonderful.
was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. So that's the kind of thing where this is a whole different type of experience, and I hope someday to find my way to that. But for now, I'm focusing on reality food and being actually cooking for people.
That's exciting. And you do have a lot of things. Cooking up, a lot of irons in the fire.
Like, I mean, when we say she's just like, it's my time, you went all out.
Yeah,
So
balls to the wall.
I did. Balls to the wall, baby. That's true. It's called, in this industry, it's called throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
just like you check if your spaghetti is cooked.
Yeah.
You can do spaghetti in the Instant Pot in 6 minutes, guys.
What?
We're gonna have story time. 1 pot spaghetti. You brown your meat in the bottom on the saute mode. Your whatever meat you're using, brown it up on the bottom. Break your noodles in half, throw them on top. Take your jar of sauce, dump that on top. Add 1 more jar of water, dump that on top. Do not stir. Do not stir. Put the lid
Do
on.
not stir.
Do not stir.
Okay.
Put the lid on and hit I lied. 8 minutes. 8 minutes. You come back, open it up, stir it, done. Ready to serve.
Well, why don't you stir?
Because I don't know.
Well, is it so the noodles stay submerged, maybe?
Like, you don't have to stir.
No,
That's
you
the-
absolutely
that's the
don't stir.
beauty of it.
No,
You
it's
should not
don't
stir. It's don't stir.
It's not, don't have
Okay.
to.
Yeah, it's don't stir. I think so that the noodles don't stick to the bottom. Right, that's what I would.
okay.
Because you've got your meat layer already
Yeah.
browned there.
Yeah.
This is how I get through my Wednesday nights.
Also, if anyone thought I was serious about throwing spaghetti at the wall to see if it's cooked, don't do that.
I do that.
I have thrown a noodle on the refrigerator many times.
Yeah, I throw it
Sorry.
on the microwave.
shame.
I throw it on the microwave door that's above the stove.
Oh, really?
I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Every time.
I just test the noodles
And
to
then,
see if they're done.
And then if it sticks,
We're over here like,
then
yeah,
I
we
eat
cook. We throw it against our refrigerator.
Yeah, like I really do that.
No
That's
shame.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a lot going on right now. I'm doing private events. So when I came home, I decided that I wanted to reach out and learn everything I could from chefs in this city who I respect. And I've taken quite a few months to do that and really threw myself hard into 10 to 14 hour a day, back of kitchen,
Right.
Line cook, you name it. I went at it this year and I learned an absolute ton. And I learned that being in that type of environment is a really serious commitment, and I give all of those head chefs and sous chefs and line cooks out there just all of my respect, because I suffer from scoliosis, and standing that long, even without a back injury or without any back problems, is I see these people and I just go, how you guys are amazing.
Yeah.
So I learned for me that being full time in a professional kitchen isn't for me and my body and my homeschooled kids. So I'm project based now, and I go into new situations and help with menu planning. Give a little bit of advice for how certain things might flow, anything that I'm, that's in my wheelhouse.
Right. Kind of like a consulting.
Yeah. And then I back out and I spend my time on private events. So I do for-profit events, but I also try to split my time between that and donated nonprofit events.
Nice.
So I do things for LoveWorks Leadership, as well as the Food and Shelter for Friends, and I'll be donating time with them. And on November 4th, anybody who's got a little bit of extra time, that's my birthday, so please come out.
Oh,
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And mine is November 6th.
Hey, Scorpios all
That's
the way.
right.
So we will be at Packard's New American Kitchen.
Oh, yeah. I love Packard's.
I do too. That's actually, that's my favorite restaurant in Oklahoma City.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
You'll have to come up with the second
back.
one now.
Oh, okay, I will.
I like that.
That's pretty hard though. Packard's is the head chef Brianna Shear of Packard's is really doing amazing things there. They're blackened redfish, you guys, with the risotto.
Ooh, I've not had that.
It's so good. And their bourbon chocolate pecan pie. Yeah, I think I know where I'm going when we're done. Brianna, I'm headed over. So
fire it up.
Yeah, but on November 4th, they are hosting their yearly event for the Oklahoma City Homeless Alliance.
Okay.
So come on out. There's going to be amazing family style. What we in Hawaii, I speak Hawaiian before I speak English, so the word I wanted to use is poo-poos. But I think here you would say tapas.
Tapas. Okay, yes.
I yell at my children in Hawaiian. That's how they know I'm really serious.
That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, come out and support the Homeless Alliance for that. And if you check out my page, you can find the other events that I've got going on under Coast to Coast Cuisine. We do things for anywhere from 4 people in their home that want to have a nice intimate meal, all the way up to we just did 300 people at the YMCA last week for their lobsters and lays.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll take on any task.
Yeah.
We'll bake, no problem. We'll cook. We'll do what you need.
And what was your website?
My website is www.thejoeyofcooking.com, and that's Joei. It's a play on that book your mom had your whole life,
no,
The Joy of Cooking.
I love it.
This is my husband's fault. It was about 1 a.m. after some long discussions, and I said, that works. We're doing that.
Yeah.
We're going with that one.
I like it.
But I love it. It makes people smile, so I ran with
Yeah,
it.
I like it.
But you can find me on Instagram and Facebook as well, The Joey of Cooking, and you can message me through there for private events. And then we also, if anyone has anything going on with youth in the metro, that is completely free of charge. If you are foster parents, if you are running a shelter, if you are doing an after-school program, that's I'm talking to you, 612 OKC. If you guys have anything going on that is nonprofit working with youth and especially underprivileged youth, please message me. I'm happy to come and do a kids cooking class for you.
Oh, that's awesome.
How cool.
Yeah.
Teach them how to
cook healthy.
and okay, that box of mac and cheese you have that maybe your parents aren't home, maybe you're a latchkey kid, you've got a box of mac and cheese. I'm going to help you turn that into something that your parents are going to go, whoa, when they walk in the door.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like
Can I come
that
to this?
so much.
You can.
And it feels like I'm a latchkey kid.
Yeah, right. So I've got that going on, and we are moving back to Hawaii next summer, my family.
Okay.
To bring you guys what I'm going to dub adventure dining.
Adventure dining. Okay, tell us about this.
So I'm
Sounds exciting.
Yeah,
does.
I decided I
Sounds
needed
adventurous.
more excitement, right?
Right?
Like
You're bored right now.
when I'm in Hawaii, I take that boredom, and I've been a scuba diving instructor. I've been a zip line tour guide.
Wow.
I believe that's my gym membership. Is I get paid to work out, right? And so when we go home, the Joey of cooking is going to be transforming into, well, actually, let me back up. For this year, while we're here, if you join me this year, we're going to be doing a Twitch channel. If any of you've all heard of YouTube streaming.
Yes.
If any of you have kids or husbands or yourselves, we're not going to be genderist here. Any gamers, you know about Twitch. And Twitch TV, if you have an Amazon Prime account, Twitch TV gives you 10 free subscriptions a month. Oh. So it will cost you nothing, but you will be giving me like $1.
Right.
And so come out and support me. Join the Joey of Cooking. You'll get notifications for the Twitch TV channel, and we will be doing weekly newsletters where you'll get an email that tells you the really affordable, attainable in your area ingredients that we're going to be using. So we're not going to say go get a mahi or something.
Right.
Right. We're gonna keep
fresh.
it.
Go catch it right now.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Go get some lobsters.
Extra bonus points if you do. But,
right.
And so we are going to do an interactive streaming. That's why we're moving to Twitch. We're going to do an online interactive streaming cooking class. And
so cool.
So you join me at, let's say it's going to be Tuesday at 8, right? So you don't have to make dinner for your family. No one needs you right now. That's your time to come in, and you only had to spend $6 on ingredients for one plate, and you're going to either share it with your honey or your dog or yourself.
Right.
My dog gets my leftovers. Yeah. If you, let's say you burn your sauce. Type it into the comments. I'm gonna talk about it, and we're gonna fix that for you. Maybe other people had that same problem. So Julie burnt her sauce. Here's how we're gonna fix that.
Nice. That's awesome.
Is that something? So I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
So have you guys seen Chef Show?
I haven't seen that one yet.
No,
Okay.
I have not either.
They are taking they're taking someone who's a professional chef. They're bringing them into the kitchen and they're cooking a meal with you. But it's a show, right? Uh-huh. And Seth Rogen was on episode 1, season 1. This was a fabulous episode.
Yeah.
I cried laughing. And
He's so funny.
And Seth says, he goes, "Why do we like to watch people cook?" And John says, "I don't know. Then we watch them eat."
Right.
I thought about it. I stopped the show. I thought, gosh, they're right. So my question to you guys is, would this concept be interesting to you? Would you want to come on Tuesday night and cook with me? Or do you want to come at Wednesday night at midnight when you finally had time to lay down and watch it and actually watch a replay? Do you think that the interactive side sounds fun? Do you think you would want to make time in your life to come to that?
For me, I feel like the interactive part, if I was maybe not confident in the kitchen, the interactive thing I think is great.
And that's what I'm going for, is beginners, people who don't really know. And so you cook, but people who don't know what to do, I hear them all the time in public going, I can't cook. I go, really?
I can't cook is like,
It's so common. So I feel like
for those people, that would be perfect. I don't know.
Right.
Personally, I would watch it to see like what recipes you're doing, and then take my own spin on that.
And you'll be able to do that with Twitch. It will be up for a week, and then it can archive. So you'll be able to go back and watch. But I'm really wanting to kind of demystify fine dining and help people realize that you can impress yourself, your spouse, your children, your best friend, whoever, your mom, whoever it is with you coming to dinner that night. You can impress them for like $6 a plate.
Yeah. Right.
And this is going to piss off a lot of my awesome friends that are fine dining chefs and own big concepts. But I don't feel like every night of the week has to cost you $60.
No, I agree.
Yeah, that concept sounds like a lot of fun. Like we watch these shows because we want to cook that type of food, right? Or
We've all watched
eat that type
shows.
of food. Yeah. So the fact that we were doing this along, I think it's gonna attract like those people that are like, hey, this will be a fun date night.
Yeah.
Or I can make this for my date night.
Yeah.
Or the person that's just like, I need to get better at this.
Yeah.
This is like,
or the mom that's making macaroni and cheese every night and hot dogs.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what?
I'm getting a lesson. Like this is. I think it's gonna be great. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my plan is while I'm here to start that, and then so here's the exciting thing. We're going to move that to Hawaii.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring that into. I will have 2 streams going each week. I'll have my interactive cooking class in the kitchen. So this stems back from my favorite cooking show from when I was a child. We grew up with Roy Yamaguchi. You guys know Roy's restaurants.
Yeah.
He's all around. But back when I was little in the early 90s, he was central to Hawaii. He was only in Hawaii.
Okay.
And he had a show in Honolulu called Hawaii Cooks. And it's all on Netflix now, guys. You've got to go find
No
this.
way.
Yes,
Exciting.
yes, it is so 90s and it is so good. It is so good. And I watched this growing up every week on Sunday on KHON, News 9 in Hawaii. I sat down, got my dinner, and watched Hawaii Cooks with Roy Yamaguchi. And he is my earliest inspiration to turn something into just something beautiful without
Right.
it. You can take carrots. You can take a $2 bag of carrots and turn that into carrots 4 ways with an amazing dish in front of
Right.
you for $2.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna take this back to Hawaii, and I am going to put a GoPro on my helmet.
Okay.
And I am going to show you my island. I'm going to show you my Hawaii. And we're going to jump in the water. We're going to go down 15 feet. We're going to spearfish an octopus. We're going to come out onto the beach. We're going to beat that sucker over the rock 80 times. And then we're going to put it on a spit and we're going to roast it over open flame using seawater as our base there on the beach. Then the next day, we're going to go visit my buddy who is an axis deer hunter. We have a lot of axis deer and we have a lot of Russian razorback wild boar. That's why Kahlua pig is one of our staples. Story time. Ancient Hawaii was not as full of the ingredients as it is today. When the missionaries came and when other cultures came, they brought different things with them. And so a few boar were brought. Bad idea. Don't do this. A few deer were brought, and now we have way too many boar, way too many deer. It's not enough land space to have dealt with that.
Right.
So we have hunting seasons, and they're very they're very well announced, so everybody knows when it's time to go out. And so the next week we're going to go up onto the volcano, onto the wet jungle side of the island, and we're going to go meet someone who does bow hunting, and we're going to bow hunt a deer, and we're going to dress it right on site. And we're going to come down, and then the next time you see me, we're going to be in the kitchen. So.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
I
Hawaii,
think that's very cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna come back to 1990s Hawaii cook style, and Roy really inspired me. He had 3 segments to his show. He had Source, which was where we went to the farm, we went to the ocean, we went to whoever it was, Source, and then Kitchen. We come back and we cook it, and then Styling. Now, Roy, I'm not gonna totally rip you off, but but we're going to try to do that. We're gonna try to have this is the adventure time, the Source. This is how we stayed true to respecting the ingredients, and then we're gonna just cook it up, and it's gonna be really pretty for you in the kitchen. So we'll have 2 different things going, but I'm really looking forward to
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, adventure dining, Hawaiian style.
There we go.
I like that.
I'm gonna have to follow you on Twitch.
Super exciting, yeah.
Even though I might be the one watching at like 2 a.m.
That's
You're
okay.
like-
That's okay. I'm glad you're there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
And it doesn't cost you anything because
Right.
if you have we all have Amazon Prime. Most of
Yeah.
us, your mom, somebody does.
Yeah.
You get 10 free subscriptions
Be
a
like,
month.
can I borrow one of those?
Yeah. You know what? You guys are special. If you don't have Amazon Prime, call me. I'll get you in. Woohoo! You'll have a little gift card in your Instant Pot.
Nice.
That's funny.
Perfect.
That's a lot of plans.
I have a lot of plans going.
So, I mean, and to think that you probably brewed these plans not as soon as you started back on it, or was this just like, I'm back in it and these are all my plans?
I'll be honest, everything you've just heard is all within the last year.
Wow.
I wanted to win a TV show and that didn't work out. And like you said, balls to the wall.
Right.
That's awesome. That's
Really
awesome.
cool. You're also another cool thing that you have coming up is bringing like a new kitchen tool to the U.S. market.
Yeah.
You're like, interesting.
I want to know what this kitchen tool is. I love kitchen gadgets.
Yeah, and this is a completely new concept to the U.S.
Okay.
So everyone knows what a pressure cooker and an Instant Pot is.
Yeah.
You remember how before the Instant Pot we had stovetop pressure cookers. Those could be kind of scary. They are still kind of scary.
Yeah.
And so in South Korea, they do something called ceramic double boiler. And so what this product is called the Oku, and what it is it looks like a large Instant Pot at first glance. And when you have to pull off the lid is not just on the top, it's literally the whole body of the unit the top comes off, and what you find underneath is a pressurized ceramic inner pot, and you place your half cup or so of water underneath the ceramic pot, and then all of your ingredients go inside. The lid goes back on, and it pressurizes for however many hours. Now, if you're a home cook, this is kind of convoluted and may not be something you're used to doing, but professional kitchens, large kitchens, and chefs around the world are totally intrigued by this, because when you cook in a pressure cooker, the liquid is in that same basin, and you lose a lot of your flavor. Whatever it is, you lose a lot of your flavor right back into that liquid.
Right.
So unless you reduce that liquid and use it on your dish, sometimes a roast even in your Instant Pot or in your regular pressure cooker can be pretty bland.
You're leaving all the delicious juices at the
Yeah, so with the Oku, with the Korean double boiler, not only did it go through that myoclonic process in the ceramic dish, but there was no outside water source touching your food.
Right.
So it cooked whatever it is in its own juices. For example, there is only one restaurant in the country using this product.
Oh, really?
And that is Alinea in Chicago by Chef Grant Atkins.
Gosh.
Grant, right?
Oh my gosh. Do you know about? Oh my
No.
gosh. Okay.
He's my hero.
You go research him and then go watch the Chef's Table episode on Grant.
Okay.
It'll blow you away.
Yeah.
So he's breaking the rules. He says there are no rules anymore.
There are no rules. Yeah.
So he'll literally fling everything off this table, wipe it down with a Clorox wipe, and plate right on your table. Like, here we go. We're using
Cool.
you don't need these constraints.
Yeah.
He was actually a guest judge on
He was
MasterChef
on
this
10,
year,
yeah.
and that was oh gosh, that's really hard to say that it was my favorite episode, because Morimoto was also on this season.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna cry at you guys that I missed meeting Morimoto.
I mean, they keep saying it's season 10, right?
Right? It blew it out of the water. It was the most amazing season I've seen yet. And so he was a guest judge this season, and my favorite thing was that he gave all of the contestants, they took all the plates and bowls out of the kitchen. None. And they said, you have to make us a dish.
Yes.
It can be anything you want, but you've got to go and use the things that we gave you to plate on.
Yeah.
So it was like, there were things like a paint roller tray and test
Which
tubes.
didn't quite work out.
It didn't quite work out. It didn't. You know what his favorite was Nick, who was in the final.
Yes.
Nick was in
Yeah,
the
that was
finale.
smart. Yeah.
Nick plated a dessert in the KitchenAid mixer, the entire stand mixer. He brought that up to the judges. Boom, put it down on the.
It was a lemon meringue pie.
It was in the KitchenAid mixer. It was, and Grant said, "Cool."
Yeah.
So Grant, there is literally no one else in this country using this product, this Oku product right now, besides Grant's team. He's got Chef Davies there with him at Alinea. These guys are they're just doing amazing things. And he was introduced to this while he was overseas. He brought 7 of them back with him.
Oh, wow.
To his kitchen, because it's not just about the cook time. It's not instant. It could be if you really needed it to, but
It's more about that flavor.
it's the flavor.
Yeah.
So the beauty of this is not your cook time, it's your standby time.
Right.
So you impart all of these flavors, all of whatever it was, right back into your meal, your dish, and then you leave it pressured at standby for X amount of hours, depending on the recipe, and it just continues to break down and give itself this amazing like texture as well as flavor profile.
Nice.
So at Alinea, for example, they have a dessert where they put bananas in their peel, 5 of them in the Oku,
Okay.
for 17 hours.
What?
And when you come back and open it, the banana has gone through, like I said, that myoclonic process. It's completely blackened and soft, and they serve it with the liquid from the bananas that went through. There's 2 layers to the inner pot. You've got these little kind of like a strainer, and it allows its own liquids to catch.
Nice.
And it turns this banana after 17 hours has made its own caramel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And let's go back. Nothing was put in this machine, but
Besides
bananas. Exactly.
Wow.
So that's one of their desserts. So I'm really
And it's
excited.
literally just banana.
Just banana.
But
Yeah.
it's turned into this incredible
one of
dessert.
my favorite things so far has been the oku onions. So I put 5 onions whole. I peeled the first layer off and put 5 whole onions in there and came back 6 hours later. I wonder what would have happened if I'd let it sit for another 12.
Right.
Because when I opened it, the onions were they were extremely soft and almost opaque and brown, and the liquid under them was basically an onion dashi broth.
Oh, wow.
And so I served this now sweet cooked onion with this dashi broth with a little bit of garlic and spring onion on the top.
Yeah.
I don't even like onions, guys. And it was delicious. My kids all sat down to an onion with some onion
That's
juice.
all you're eating is an onion.
I'm not kidding.
An onion with some onion
it's
juice.
so hard to explain what this machine does.
Incredible.
Yeah, so you're
I want one of those.
you're right.
So when are you starting this?
I've already begun. Negotiations are happening with the company now, and you may not see us at all the trade shows this year. It's going to take a little bit of time. There's a bit of a language barrier that we're working through. So negotiations are still happening, but I will be doing my review on mine here pretty soon, and then hopefully I'll be connecting with Chef Davies and Chef Grant and seeing what they've got going on, and kind of bringing it to all of these fine dining restaurants. I'm going to try to give one to Chef Kurt over at Vast and see what he can do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just say, okay, see what you think, and call me.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
Cool.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, so that's
really
kind of
does.
that's my other wall throw right now.
I mean, you're not doing anything, so why not?
It makes sense. It's better than sitting around.
Right.
I have fun.
Yeah, that's a lot of exciting things. I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
So do we want to do the kitchen sink?
I think we do. I think it's time.
Is it?
Are you ready?
Absolutely.
She's the first person who said absolutely.
Yeah, not.
Everyone else is like, I guess, maybe, I don't know, no.
Balls to the wall, right?
Yep.
Born ready.
That's what we should name this episode.
I am okay with that. I have no problem with that.
That's funny. So I think we already know the answer to this first question. Your favorite ingredient, is it going to be
The purple sweet potato?
Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
I have no shame in that.
Yeah.
The other thing would be lobster, right?
Yeah.
Because in Hawaii we have something called Pacific slippertail lobster.
Okay.
Which I actually, story time. I had a funny happening last week or 2 weeks ago. I did the Lobsters and Lays Luau at the Cleveland County YMCA, and we ordered $700 worth of lobster tails because they wanted it to be the Lobsters and Lays Luau.
Nice.
And it wasn't until about 10 minutes before service that I realized I had a problem. And I went and looked back at my box and saw that they had sent us Pacific slippertail lobsters instead of Maine lobster tails.
Oh.
And what you should know is if you're ever trying to impress someone and pop that lobster tail out of its shell, don't get
So not the
Pacific
slipper
slippertail
tail.
lobsters. They don't pop out of their shell.
Oh, no.
So I personally apologize to everyone that was at that luau that didn't get lobster that night. We didn't realize we had that problem. And
man.
you know, live TV or live cooking, with whatever it is, you just roll with it.
Right.
But lobster tails have my heart, but lobster tails with some butter and a purple sweet potato.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Nice.
lobster.
What is the strangest thing that you've tried?
Ooh. Oh, that's easy. Stinky tofu.
Oh.
Okay.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I like stinky cheese.
Stinky cheese. So, I was raised in a very, very Asian-heavy food culture. After World War II, after the influx of Japanese immigrants to Hawaii, we had already in the early 1800s had Chinese immigrants and Portuguese immigrants to work the sugarcane fields.
Okay.
And then after the war, we started having Japanese immigrants settle. And that's when all of those Asian flavors really took over. So tofu, there's a company in Hawaii called Aloha Tofu Company. And it's one of the most disgusting god-awful, foul. Has anyone ever smelled Lindbergh cheese?
No.
Don't. Okay, this is worse. This stinky tofu. Now, I'm really sorry, folks from the Asian cultures, because I know y'all love this. But it's the only thing I've ever had to turn around and spit out. I could not.
Wow.
It's a ferment for 14 days.
Right.
On top of already a fermented curd that they then slather this weird green and golden sort of pasty sauce over it. And I have no idea what was in it. I don't want to know. So I'm sorry, but no stinky tofu for me.
Oh, that's funny. No, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's so bad.
I mean, I've always
I can
said
smell it as I sit here talking to you guys.
I've always said that I would try anything once. I
won't.
don't know.
If I go to,
I won't try
I won't.
anything.
I've watched a
Oh,
lot
you could
of.
talk me into it, I feel.
I don't know. I've watched a lot of really cool food. I've watched every food show I could ever get my hands on growing up. This was my pastime. And every time they go to China and they do the street food in China, and you got scorpions on a stick
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
centipedes on a stick. Like, nah. That's
Yeah.
just, we don't need to do that.
Yeah, I'm right
What's
there
the
with
point?
you.
Protein.
No, I am right there with you. I don't want to eat bugs. And even at the state fair, they had
Scorpion
Yeah.
pizza
scorpion pizza.
and mealworm pizza.
And mealworm
God,
pizza.
that's even
That's
worse.
disgusting. I will say I did voluntarily. A couple of years ago here in Oklahoma City eat a cricket off a gas station floor. Let me explain.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
not as disgusting as that sounds. I was in a race called Questival. Our group actually took third place, only by a technicality. We almost won.
Okay.
And it's a 24-hour adventure race like Amazing Race, and it's
Yeah.
done locally, and you go all over the state. Team
Oh, that's
a
fun.
group of 6, and there are 330 challenges to complete.
Wow,
And
that's totally sounds like something you would do, Nabil.
It was so much fun.
I feel like that'd be amazing.
We did everything from run the Norman turkey trot to milking goats to bringing cookies to firefighters to 3 points at the end of the night when you really need those points. Find a cricket and eat it live on video.
Oh my gosh.
Sold. Let's do this. Like but
Wow.
those 3 points.
I will.
I have an extremely
I will
competitive
gladly have you on my team to do that.
Did it taste terrible?
It was awful. The legs have little tiny, like, catchy little,
Yeah.
I know.
and they catch on your tongue. Yeah, my group was just staring at me, and
I can't believe that didn't
Yeah.
win the strangest thing you've
I
tried.
know.
no, the cricket was not nearly as disgusting as that stinky tofu. Mm-mm.
Which is, I mean, crazy. To
I would
think
eat a
about.
bowl of crickets over ever touching stinky tofu.
Wow. A whole bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I put a little bit of soy sauce on there,
Okay.
maybe a ponzu, but yeah.
I'm just speechless.
Wow.
Cricket caught my tongue.
Oh gosh.
It did.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's
It
so
did.
gross.
Have you ever seen that Family Guy episode where he goes, and he's
Yeah.
spitting, he tries to spit the food out, and he runs his hand over his tongue multiple times and tries to hand it to his wife? That's how I felt.
Yeah, I bet. All right, so let's switch gears.
Yeah, sorry.
Favorite snack food.
Crickets.
No thanks. No thanks. Well, does chocolate count?
Yeah.
Because
Anything counts.
Does bacon count?
Yeah.
Well, I personally, if I have the time, my very favorite thing is to temper some chocolate, dip some bacon in it, and let it dry.
Wow.
Chocolate dipped bacon is like life.
One of my friends from college used to swear by it. That was her favorite thing.
It's even better than melted cheddar cheese over apple pie. If you've never done that, try that.
I've heard of that. Why is that?
I don't
I've
know.
never
I
heard
don't
of
know.
that.
I don't know, but it's a thing and it's
I've
good.
Totally heard of
I've
that.
never
I saw
heard of
like a
that.
meme about it.
promise it's good.
Last like around the holidays. Why?
I don't know.
Try
I don't know.
Try it and let us know.
I don't know. I mean, cheese and fruit and crust, they've gone together for a long time.
I mean, I guess that's true. You like, cheese
Platter,
trays
yeah.
and-
If you need a good cheese platter, my other eat of the week, if you said I had to have 2, right, is on Croûte.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
They do their cheesemonger Mondays where it's half off their cheese
Yeah.
platter.
Yeah.
I gain like 5 pounds every Monday.
No, their cheese is so great. We were just talking about the hangover brunch that we went to.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you got to go to that? I'm so jelly.
It was so good.
That looked so delicious.
yeah.
Their
and-
cheese and jelly was really good.
Yeah.
Or jam. It was actually jam.
I don't get
but,
invited to these things, you guys. I get invited to cook for these things.
Right.
I want to get invited to eat
Well, look,
these
I
things.
actually
want to
have an
be on
idea.
it.
Okay. Okay. All right, I'm
So
listening.
next hangover brunch, I think you all or we all have to team up and you can do this.
We'll have a booth.
Oh my gosh, that'd be insane.
Yeah.
You guys are on air and I'll cook for us.
Okay.
But I require a
we're committed.
30-minute break to go eat everyone else's food.
Yeah.
No.
It's
So
necessary.
what we do is we get there early.
Okay.
And before everyone's set up and anything's open, we'll go try everything.
Yeah.
And then we'll just,
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that next September?
Actually, I think they do 2 a year. The last one they did before this was in April, so I don't know if it's going to be a similar time frame.
Right.
If you catch me if you can.
All right.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Oh man, that'd be.
My daughter graduates in May, and I'm about out.
I'm gonna have to tell.
No
Bryn
offense,
to
I
be
love you
like,
guys, Oklahoma
Push it
City.
up.
Yeah. Hi.
We would like to have a table, and could you push up the date?
We're really important folks over here.
You want to know what we're gonna make?
I promise
funny.
it'll have some kind of Hawaiian connotation. Yeah. No, that sounds really fun. And I have to say, I'm talking about running back to Hawaii. I can't help it, you guys. I'm sorry. If you were from there, you'd understand.
Oh yeah.
I get it.
But the good news is my
would
husband's whole family
go
is
there.
from here, so
Okay.
I'll still come visit you guys. I will still come.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you said you were a big food show buff. What's your favorite one?
Currently, boy, that's a really hard question.
Or favorite food movie?
Yeah. Well, so for me, it's got to be based in reality. So it's going to be a show and not a movie. And so the final table just has my heart.
Yeah.
I look up to all of those chefs. I've gotten to know a few of them since watching the show because I reach out and say hi to whoever I want to these days. And sometimes they say hi back and sometimes they go, who is this chick? I don't know. And it's fine. You're not expected to know me.
Hashtag MC Family.
MC Family, MC for life. Yeah. Hashtag the Joey of cooking. And so the final table really, I felt like I don't want to speak ill of any other show I've ever seen or been part of, but I want to say that it really felt like it was really genuine. If they messed up, you saw it right there. If it wasn't, and the show wasn't about the characters. It was truly about their origins and the food.
Yeah.
And I learned so much. I learned so much from the final table. So I've got to say that that's my favorite.
All right.
My favorite episode from that season was the paella one.
Oh, didn't those look good?
That was,
Love paella.
I was just like, oh man, I think I know how to make a paella now.
I can help you with that. My a chef that I work with sometimes down in Norman is from Venezuela, and his mom taught him to make paella like nobody's business. So next time I come, I'll bring you guys paella.
Oh, I love paella.
Next week?
Next week,
Next
sure.
week.
We'll figure out a whole
Same
new thing
time,
to talk
same
about.
place.
Yeah, I'll probably have 10 more, really interesting ventures going on by then to talk to you. It's not that I'm flighty; it's that I'm project based.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
I like it. All right. So you've done some traveling. And this question, it can be somewhere that you've been to or somewhere you would like to go. But an area or region that you are interested in their food scene and culture.
Oh, it's got to be Japan.
Japan, yeah.
It's got to be Japan. I mean, like I
With
said,
the stinky tofu.
I know, right? I'll give them that. They can have a free pass. The flavors, the flavors of Japanese food, they intrigue me, and they always push me out of my comfort zone. So 2 years ago, I wouldn't have owned a bottle of fish sauce, and at this point, I am hard pressed to come up with things I can't put fish sauce into.
Right.
So the Asian, all of Asia, the Asian Rim, the Pacific Rim cuisine has always intrigued me, but I feel like if I could go somewhere and spend a month staging or
at least
being at a working at a restaurant,
gosh.
it would be a fine dining Japanese cuisine, because it's just I mean, for me, the next big thing would be, can I learn to do what they do the way they do it? It takes 10 years in Japan for sushi chefs to be allowed to do the blowfish, the fugu, the blowfish, because it can kill you.
Right.
Like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
All right, show me how to do this. Like that. Again, that's my adventure dining kind of like, that's where that's what has my heart.
Yeah.
So what limits can I push? What can I make look look really interesting. Last week I made banana bread with teff flour, local Oklahoma grown teff flour.
Interesting.
Totally gluten-free. Have you ever had Ethiopian food?
Yes,
so
I love Ethiopian
You know that
food.
injera bread, the rolls of injera? This is the flour that it's made from. So I'm always looking for
That is cool.
It was really cool. Kind of spongy, but really cool.
Yeah, I love that
Really
stuff.
cool. Yeah, it was really,
But
really
that
good.
bread sops up all the curry and the salsa. So good.
So good.
Yeah.
So I love so many different food cultures, but I have a really sensitive tongue to actual spicy stuff. So a lot of food gets sort of pushed to the back burner for me of like, oh, I don't really know how to develop those flavors. One of my favorite friends from this year's MasterChef, Sherry. Remember Sherry, the Indian? She's the Caucasian woman that married an Indian man and learned how to cook to impress her mother-in-law.
Yes.
And she took it just so far. She did such amazing work on the show this year. Her food looks amazing, and I just would stare at it going, I can't do that. I don't know what she just did. That smells amazing, but I can't do that. Or it looks amazing because she made so much more that I didn't get to smell, unfortunately. But yeah, Japanese food gives that. They really believe in something called umami. Which is the full embodiment of all of the five all of the five senses being part of your experience. So we eat through the eyes. We eat. There's sound involved. There's smell involved. There's taste involved. And Japan just they respect that.
Yeah.
On such a deep level. Yeah.
Yeah. Great answer.
I would go there.
Me too.
Let's go.
Me
Hey,
too.
next week.
With a stopover in Hawaii?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My mom we could see my mom. It'd be great.
Done. So you already kind of answered this one. Your favorite restaurant in Oklahoma City?
Oh, but I could answer it 5 more times. Yeah. So Packard's has my heart right now because they have such an eclectic menu. And again, I told you that chef is pushing a lot of limits with really, really innovative cuisine, and so those flavors are just popping. I've seen a lot of restaurants in Oklahoma City that are doing the same thing as far as really, really pushing those flavors. But Packard's is that place that you just want to keep going back to. You just want to sit there and go back over and over again.
I love Packard's.
Their desserts are amazing, but that blackened redfish with the risotto, the little green onions. Oof. I could probably eat that every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will bring a little bit of my Asian appreciation into it and say that I worked with Western Concepts for a little bit this year and got to have a behind the scenes look at Sushi Neko. And I then got to eat with my husband and friends, not on a work day, in the restaurant. And I was so impressed. Yeah. I'm so impressed with the team that they've got back there and with the beauty that they're putting up on those plates.
Yeah.
I had their ahi sashimi that's in the shape of kind of like a volcano with the greens under it and the dipping sauce.
Yeah.
And I don't even usually do seared. I do very very cooked fish. I'm not a huge fan of raw. I wouldn't share. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't share. I sat there and ate the whole thing. So Sushi Neko is I think they got best Japanese or best sushi over Tokyo this year in the Gazette.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, and if they did, I'm sorry if they didn't. I think they did. If they did, they thoroughly deserved it.
Next year.
They do have a
year.
roll that I love. It's I think it's called the Lifesaver roll.
Okay.
And it's a raw fish roll, and it has very thinly sliced lemons on top. It's so good. I love it. Get it every single time.
Yeah, and their kitchen is spotless and run by a really great team. And so I'm sad that I'm not with them anymore. I had to move on to a project that took me from there. But it's a beautiful. But the back and front of house, when you walk in to Sushi Neko, you feel like you're in Edo era Japan. So that's if I had to choose between Packard's and Neko, I'd have a really big problem.
Good thing you can talk about both.
Exactly.
Right. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up this excellent episode.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming
I
on.
really enjoyed chatting with you. And so you can follow Joey's, cooking adventures by following her on Instagram, the Joey of Cooking, and it's JOEI.
Of cooking.
Of cooking.
You got to get the in there. The Joey of cooking.
And then also Facebook, right?
Yep, same name.
Same name.
And you can find me through either of those. If you want to go to thejoeyofcooking.com and message me, there are multiple ways to find me.
Yeah, perfect.
Nice.
And follow her journey.
Yeah.
I'm excited about
that's
everything you have coming
up. That's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at OKC Foodcast. And if you'd like to collaborate or send us some listener feedback, you can email us at okcfoodcast@gmail.com.
And don't forget treats.
And don't forget treats.
Always. And if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button on whatever podcast app that you're using. Stitcher, Overcast, Google
We're
Play,
everywhere now.
iTunes, Spotify, wherever you are, hit that subscribe button. And if you feel so inclined, leave us a 5-star rating and write us a review. Those help a lot and help us grow.
Yes. Please.
Plus, they give us encouragement, which is nice.
And until next time, friends, eat well and be happy.